Hi everyone, this is Hemmadikari and I'm a mortgage broker in Australia. Um, I'm a principal broker of I'm a principal broker of Gaia Home Loans, which is located in Sydney. So today here I will be discussing about the different factors to be considered when in buying a home or buying a property in Australia. So one of the most important thing, number one, is like what is your borrowing power capacity, right? So you can't say that, oh, I like that property, I'll buy it. So it depends upon how much you are earning, your income, your expenses, your liabilities, your loans, existing loans like credit card, personal loans. So depending upon all these factors, your borrowing capacity will be determined. So normally, like when you're planning to buy a house, it's always better to contact your bank or your mortgage broker and know how much you can borrow and like how much you can take as a loan and how much deposit you have to make. The second one is genuine saving. Genuine saving is like when you're buying property for the first time, bank they would like 5% genuine savings from you. So it is like 5% income, 5% saving the cash you have in your bank account for the last 3 months. So there are different things, different factors that affect genuine saving. We'll discuss each detail later. And as a buyer, the third thing you have to remember is what are fixed rate and what are variable rates. Normally, the when you start buying a house, when you start with all the procedures, you can see that, oh, it's a 30 years term loan, blah blah blah. But you also need to understand what is fixed rate and what is variable rate. Variable rate it's changes depending upon the market situation, on how market goes. Sometime it goes up, sometime it goes down. And if you don't have any fixed rate contract, then your rates keeps on changing, but banks or lender they will notify you. Fixed rate is a rate that you pay for a certain period of time, maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 7 years. It depends upon what kind of fixed um, agreement you want to have with the bank. So if you are in fixed loan, for example, you did a contract of fixed rate of 2.5% for 3 years today. So doesn't matter if the rate changes in the future, variable rate goes up or goes down. For next 3 years, you'll be paying same rate. And with this kind of contract or agreement, if you plan to change or switch or terminate the contract within this period of time, then you have to pay some extra fees or exit fee as a penalty to the existing lenders. The fourth thing that we have to know is repayments, how you want to make the repayment. It's there are different schemes like principal and interest. You want to pay both your principal as well as interest, and some client they just want to pay interest only. But if you are doing principal and interest comparatively, you will get a better deal, like better interest rate, better other facilities than interest only repayments. And another one, the fifth thing that you have to keep in mind is about how your interest is amortized. So it's like normally what we if it depends upon the interest rate that you are in agreement with the bank, but most of the time, generally in the standard form, when you see your interest you pay to the bank is always more than the principal you pay. So as a buyer, if this is the first time you're buying, you need to have a good knowledge about that. And when you are buying property, there are two ways. When you buy property for you want to stay for yourself to live there, that is called owner occupied property. And when you purchase a property with the intention to lease it or rent it after you purchase, that is called investment property. As a first home buyer, you can directly buy investment property as well. But I think if you buy investment property, uh, then in some states you won't be eligible to get the first home buyer benefit in the future. You please contact your mortgage broker or the bank or your solicitor before doing that. Um, and with investment property, the interest rate is comparatively always more than the owner occupied. So with like even with when you purchase a property, you need to make certain percentage of deposit. We're talking about the deposit in LMA now. So when you uh, make certain percentage of deposit, if you make 20% or more than 20% of the deposit of the value of the property you're buying, then the bank will not consider you as a risky customer or client. So at the time, you don't have to pay LMI. LMI stands for low lender mortgage insurance. So this is the insurance that bank will charge you. They will add you to your loan amount. It's not mandatory that you have to pay in a cash, but this is the fee or um, expenses or insurance that the lender or the bank will charge you to pay on behalf of them. So this LMA you have to pay if you are making less than 20% of deposit. Some banks they allowed um, they won't charge any LMI until you make the 15% of deposit. But most of the bank they have a schemes that if you don't make a deposit of 20%, then you have to pay LMI. The less deposit you make, the more proportion or more amount of LMI that you have to pay. So make sure that okay, how you're going to play with that. And with special sectors like different banks, they don't charge LMI unless you make 10% of deposit. That is for the first home buyers. So for niche sector, like if you are example associate with accountant, your job is associated with CPA, or maybe you are doctor. So there are certain areas, certain sectors that the bank doesn't consider much risky, right? So the less risky you are in the eyes of banks or lender, you will be paying less insurance or less LMI with less deposit. For example, with special sectors, if you make 10% deposit, you don't have to pay any LMI. And the first home buyer benefits, you have to know about that as well. So in first home buyer benefits, different states in Australia, they provide different benefit. Um, For example, you might get stamp duty exemptions. Stamp duty is something that you pay when you purchase a tax you pay to the government when you purchase a property. So as a first home buyer, you might get stamp duty exemptions. You might get some um, first home buyer benefit as a cashback like $10,000. So it depends upon different state. So please make sure you know all about this when you make a plan to purchase any property. And also like different visas are acceptable in Australia when you purchase property. It doesn't mean that temporary residents or TR they are not eligible to purchase a property in Australia, but it depends upon different states' policies. For example, in Darwin at the moment, at today's date, in Darwin and Canberra, ACT, Northern Territory and ACT, um, you don't have to pay any um, like extra stamp duty compared to the um, permanent resident or citizens in that area. But in the rest of the state, you have to pay. But if you are not a permanent resident or citizen, there will be some additional expenses around $600,000. Sorry, $6,000 uh, for applying FIRB, Foreign Investment Review Board. So unless you don't get approved from FIRB, then you won't be able to purchase the property. There is a procedure on how to apply, when to apply, and how to do it. Again, for that, you have to consult with your mortgage broker or your solicitor. And also, when you buy a property, there is another important thing that you have to remember. It's about postcode restrictions, because different bank, they have a restriction in different areas, different suburbs, right? For example, if you are in high density suburbs and if you want to purchase an apartment, maybe one bank can say, oh, this is a risky project, this might be a risky project, so if you want to purchase a property you have to make a 20% deposit, right? So you might be making a mind, oh no, I'm going to, like, when if I can just make a deposit of 10% when you buy any property. And if your property, if your choice of property or location falls under that postcode restrictions, then you have to try with other bank and keep on finding, okay, which bank will accept your scenario, and depending upon that your mortgage broker can help you. And also, like, if you are in salary package, benefit from either government or non-government organizations, non-for-profit organizations, you always have to make the declarations. This video is just a snapshot of what are the things that you need to know, and I hope it will help you a lot to understand basic things only. Uh, there will be I will be making more videos on each topic in detail, so that you understand each topic concept in thorough manner. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it will help you a lot. Have a good day.